In the last episode, we saw that demon stab his hand into Yun's mom's chest. Now get ready for what happens next. After stabbing Yun's mom, the demon pulled out his hand, and holding her neck, the demon told her that all your efforts wasted. Seeing his mom in pain, he cries and says, "Leave my mother, you devil." Then Yun throws a stone towards the demon, saying, "I swear if you hurt her, I will kill you." The demon easily reflects the boy's attack. Seeing the boy helpless, demon, laughing demonically, and tells him that the weak cannot give orders. The one who stands at the top controls the wheel of fate, while the weak stare, powerless to change their faith. The demon opens a portal near Yun, and Mom says him to run away, but he refuses. Hearing this, Mom uses her power to send her magical swords towards him and tells him that this is an order, Yun. The demon tries to grab the boy, but Mom's magic sword comes close to him and sticks to his clothes and starts to carry him away from there. Seeing the boy go away, the demon tries to attack him, but Mom grabs his hand and uses her legs to lock the demon's waist so that he can't get away from her. Demon tries to push her away with his other hand, but she summons her swords and stabs him into his hands, and due to which he screams in pain. Yun goes flying and crashing into a tree, due to which he falls down. He gets up and thinks why this is happening and runs towards his mom saying, "Please don't leave me. I will go whatever you go, even in death. You are the only one I have." The demon tightens his grip on her neck and tells her that you are weaker than me. So the logical thing to do is to stop resisting and hand over the key willingly. But then he sees red symbols around him. Seeing this, he understands that these are symbols of death pact. He remembers that those blades were not targeted at him. She was just carving the symbols. The demon shouts at her and tells her that this attack won't be able to kill me. Then why are you sacrificing yourself? Mom looks at him, terrifying way that even the demon gets scared. Yun is about to reach his mom, but suddenly there is an explosion in that area. And Mom, while crying, tells him her last words that, "My son, you will be fine. But now the time has come for me to give you back to the world. Thank you for the last 13 years. You have filled such a big hole in my heart." Seeing all this, Yun starts crying because an important person has gone from his life. Now scene shifts to Yun's home, where he heard his mother's voice who was wishing him birthday. Yun finds out that her mother has planned a surprise birthday party for him. Yun liked the cake and thanks his mom, asking her, when did she plan all this? Yun's mother asks him to make a wish before blowing the candles. As Yun blows the candles, he suddenly finds himself alone sitting on a chair with darkness around him. He saw her mother lying next to him. Yun asked her mom, "What's going on? Who did this to you? You were just talking to me." And he shivers. All of a sudden, Yun heard same demonic laugh coming from behind. He starts running away from the voice, while saying, "That voice, I have heard it before. It was you." He goes into a room and locks himself inside it, shivers continuously and cries out of fear. Demon continuously keep knocking the door and says, "She is dead because of you. I will always find you. You're key to my destiny." Yun gets scared. Demon speaks again. "The longer you hide, the more lives I'll take. Your mother was first casualty. Everyone you care about will suffer," and Demon laugh. Demon breaks the door with his hand and grabs Yun by his neck. Yun gaps and woke up, finding himself at a strange place. It was a dream, Yun says to himself, and the impact of explosion must have knocked out me. Yun starts running towards the incident site, telling himself that her mother may have survived by using some kind of magic barrier. Yun saw news reporters, police, and some local crowd at the incident site. Yun find out that his house was completely demolished. Police sealed off the area completely. Yun asked himself for how long he was unconscious. He need to sneak inside and find out about his mother. While thinking all this, a police officer tapped on his shoulder and said, "Kid, you're not supposed to be here. This is a crime scene." Yun looked up and replied to officer, "This is my home, and a demon is responsible for all this fuss, and I need know about my mother." Officer looks at Yun and said in consoling voice, "Nobody could have survived an explosion of that magnitude. We need to record your statement once you've been seen by a medic." After listening this, Yun starts running away from there, saying, "This is not real. How could she died?" Yun bumps into a stranger while he was running. Both looks towards each other. Yun says sorry and flee away. In next scene, we saw it's raining, and Yun is sitting on the street. Yun talking to himself, is Demon still alive? Or is he still there searching for me? This is his punishment for being selfish. If he had sacrificed his life, all those people must be alive. Yun blamed himself for his mother's death, cries and begged for his death. A dog came to Yun and started barking. Yun look up and find out that it was Chonky. Yun says, "You're alive. How did you survive? I thought you were gone too. It was my fault she is gone," and hugged Chonky. Now scene shifts to the home of an old man. We were shown that an old man coming out from the washroom talking to himself about the noise due to explosion and felt that it was an earthquake. Old man looked through the window to find out what is happening because he was struggling to sleep due to noise. He saw Yun walking with his dog. He recognizes Yun that he was the same kid who came to his shop every week and stare inside through the window. Old man thinks that, what is he doing in the middle of the night at the streets? Yun was talking to himself in a consoling way that, I don't believe that my mom is dead, but this is the harsh reality. Chonky is the only family member I have, and how do I survive now without money? Yun suddenly stopped and thought maybe he can go police officers and explain everything to them, and they might believe him, that how his mother has sacrificed his life to save him. Yun thinks who is going to believe him about the demon. It sounds crazy just by saying. While Yun was thinking all this, he hears a voice. Hey kid! Yun shockingly turned around and saw an old man is standing at door of a shop which he used to visit. Old man says, I know you kid. What are you doing at this time? Shouldn't you be at your home? Old man asked him to come inside. In next scene, we saw Yun is sitting in front of old man and eating something given by the oldie. While eating, he told him his story. After listening to Yun, old man says, so that loud noise was an explosion. Sorry to hear about you, mother. He asked Yun. Weren't you caught in the explosion? Yun replied, I don't know. How I'm still alive, all I know is that my mother sacrificed her life to save me. Oldman asks him about his other family members. Yun replies, I am not aware of any family. It's always me and my mother. After listening to Yun, oldie speaks. Everyone has family, kid. Yun tell him that I have a dad but don't know how to find him. Never seen his face. Oldman consoles him and said, family is family. One day you'll find your dad. Now get some rest. Old man take Yun to his daughter's room who was not there and ask him to take some rest. Boy thank him for being kind to him. Next morning when Yun hear Chonky's barking voice, he woke up and runs fiercely towards the voice. He saw the old man has piece of cloth in his hand who is asking dog to clam down. Chonky was sitting in a corner due to fear. Yun asked to Oldie, what happened? Oldie replied, I was trying to clean him up, but he got scared. Yun takes a breath of relief and said, I thought that something bad happened to Chonky. Chonky runs to Yun. Boy kneel and embrace Chonky and starts cuddling. After watching their affection, Oldman says, he's very close to you, and asks Yun, did you get some sleep? Boy noted and thanks him for his hospitality and asks his permission to leave. Old man asks him, how will you manage without your parents? Do you have any plans? What to do next? Yun replied, I don't know. Probably I will look for a shelter home. After hearing this from Yun, oldie suggest him a place to try for. Yun agreed with the old man's suggestion in a confused way. They move out from the house. Outside, they found that everyone is talking about explosion. Yun sees that Oldman has brought him to the police station. Oldman says these guys can help, but Yun afraid to go inside the station and thinks that these people will think him crazy if he tell them the truth. Oldie asks Yun to give cops at least a try. Inside the police station, we are shown a police officer sitting at his desk reading a newspaper. Yun greets by saying, good morning. Officer respond asking, how can I help you? Yun starts speaking with a fake smile on his face. Sir, I need to find any information about my dad or any family members. Officer interrupts Yun and says, for how long you have not seen your father? Yun replies, my mother never told me much about him. Officer asks him to give him a name so that he can at least find something. Boy answers him, my name is Kensaku Yun. While all this was happening, the old man was standing outside smoking and listening to them. The officer finds something on his computer and says, I have found a name, Anako Kensaku. Have you heard of it? There is nobody else related to this name. Hearing this, Yun thinks that, wouldn't I have the same name as my father? I can't be one with the name Kensaku. Officer asks him about his mother. Yun replied with sorrow, I lost her yesterday. Officer asks Yun, so you've nowhere go, and you are also a minor. Officer advised him to go to the social services if you don't have a legal guardian. After hearing to the cop, Yun got scared and thought if he is given to social services, what's going to happen to Chunky? While this was happening, the old man enters in scene and tell the cop that Yun lives with him. They just wanted to know about his family members. The officer stared at the old man and asked him about his relationship with the kid. Oldie replied, "I am just an old friend of his family." Yun nodded in yes. The old man looked at the boy and asked, "Let's go now." Both of them thanked the police officer for his help and started walking out of the police station. In next scene, Oldie asked Yun to come with him. Who is going to his shop? Yun asked Oldie, "Is this okay for you?" Old man says, "Of course. After losing your mom, you have no place to go. Since I have a spare room, you can stay there until you find your family. But you have to help me in my shop." Yun happily accepted his offer, hugged Oldie with joy, and thanked him for being kind to him. Oldie says with a smile on his face, "Please don't squeeze me." I got back the issue and asked Yun about his age. Yun tell him that last night he turned 14. The old man put his hand on Yun's shoulder and wishes him birthday and says, "Son, let's go to home now." If you guys want next episode, please do comments.